Did two sitting members of the SEC just come to Ripple's defense and drop a bombshell on the current case of the SEC versus Ripple? Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about a letter that was just submitted to Judge Netburn that includes statements from two sitting SEC chairmen. I'm going to tell you what they made comments on and how this could dramatically affect the rest of the case of the SEC versus Ripple and the case against Ripple's executives Chris Larsen and Brad Garlinghouse. And at the same time that's going on, Bitcoin has now dipped below 30,000, which for some is a very bearish number that it's not going to recover from. It's going to continue its slide into the crypto winter. But there's a lot of people saying the exact opposite. We're going to talk about what the price movements are doing right now and what we could expect in the coming months. Hey everyone, my name is Randy. Welcome back to the Late Night Grind. On this channel, I'm covering the Ripple versus SEC case as well as other cryptocurrency news and investment markets. So if any of those topics interest you and you want to follow along, click the subscribe button, click the bell notification icon, and if you're feeling generous, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up button. Helps out with the YouTube algorithm and basically just tells YouTube to share this video with other new audiences. So if you do that, I'd greatly appreciate it. All right, guys, well, let's jump into it. So firstly, I'm actually going to start out with talking about the price of Bitcoin dipping under $30,000. Now, in the last couple of days, there's been a few newsworthy items that we've been talking about, not just on this channel, but a lot of people have been talking about it. Number one is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust was unlocked. And those who are holding Bitcoin through the Grayscale Trust, or the shares, were allowed to sell their shares to other buyers. In comes Cathie Wood of ARK Invest. Cathie Wood of ARK Invest is a major player in the investment space now, especially in recent years when she made some amazing calls. Well, she recently bought a ton of the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Obviously, that's a very bullish sign coming from somebody that controls over $30 billion in investments. Now, right now, Bitcoin is trading under $30,000. It was fluctuating between 29.5 and 30,000. It looks like it's heading on the uptrend, but there's some that say once it dips below $30,000 that essentially the crypto space, especially Bitcoin, is going to fall a little bit further, probably to 25, maybe even 20, and kind of stay there for the next 2 years until the next market cycle pops up again. Well, there's a lot of others, especially some of the technical traders that I watch on a daily basis, some of which are now saying this is the make or break point in which they feel that Bitcoin and the crypto space as a whole is going to make its new run up. That it's going to continue this this bull market that it's been doing for the past year or so after it's had its pullback in consolidation, and that the level it's at now, which it did dip below 30,000, down close to 28, is basically that sign where it's a support signal. Of course, I'm not a technical analyst, but I do follow what they say. So Plan B on Twitter, who's famous for applying the stock to flow model to Bitcoin, is basically at an impasse. Yesterday he said, well, it's below 30,000. Is this the make it or break it? Is it going to break up or down? And a lot of the technical analysts are saying basically the same thing. Now, if you were strictly looking at the price of Bitcoin, you'd probably say it's not looking great. But if you look at some of the other sides of Bitcoin, you'd say, wow, it is primed for a massive bull run. And there's several different indicators that point to that I'm not going to cover on this channel because I'm not a technical analyst. But some of the ones that I follow, not just on YouTube, but on Twitter, are posting them daily that now looks like the right time, especially if you're into altcoins. Okay, so how does that play in with XRP? Well, obviously, if you watch my videos for some time now, I feel that XRP is not decoupled from Bitcoin. It very much goes along with Bitcoin. When Bitcoin goes up and down, XRP goes up and down. It hasn't decoupled. Now, there's a few things at play that could decouple it and have XRP go on its own price run, up or down, separate from Bitcoin. Number one is this SEC case. Well, for a couple of weeks, there was kind of very little news. It was kind of boring to cover this SEC versus Ripple case, but in the last few days, it's been bombshell after bombshell. Today's no different. So yesterday, two sitting SEC basically gave statements, not on the Ripple versus SEC case because they can't actually comment on an ongoing case, but they commented on a similar case that just closed. And Ripple used their comments in order to back up their stances and get the case against Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larsen, two Ripple executives, completely dismissed, and it strengthens Ripple's case of their fair notice defense even more. So here's what they said. So Hester Peirce, who is known as the crypto mom among crypto enthusiasts because she is a very pro-crypto stance on things, along with Elid Roisman, they both gave statements in a letter that talk about the lack of clarity on the rules and regulations in the crypto space. And I'm going to paraphrase here, but you can go and find that on Twitter. I'll link in the description below. Basically, they said that people have a lot of questions and have trouble complying with laws and regulations in the crypto space because there is a decided lack of clarity from the market participants. So Ripple went ahead and used this letter in order to strengthen their case for Brad and Chris against the SEC, but also Ripple against the SEC. Because the SEC basically said that Chris and Brad knew the laws and regulations and recklessly ignored them. And that's basically the premise of the case that the SEC has against the two executives. Now, their case against Ripple is a little bit different, and Ripple never actually filed for a case dismissal. Why? Because they want clarity, which kind of goes against some of the settlement talk that people have been talking about. So these two SEC commissioners gave their stance on another case that just closed, which they're allowed to do. Ripple went ahead and used that letter to strengthen their cases and ask for the dismissal of the case against Ripple's two executives. So in my opinion, this is obviously going to be good for Brad and Chris because the SEC is now stuck between a rock and a hard place. So not only do they have to essentially defend what Ripple's just presented to the judge, but they still have to worry about the deposition of William Hinman. Ripple was gained access to depose William Hinman that brought the case against Ripple. Jeremy Hogan, who is on Twitter and YouTube, gave a fantastic analysis. I will link a video of his that he explains a lot of this in even greater detail if you want to go and check out the nitty-gritty details. I will link that in the description below. But basically, a lot of these people are thinking the same thing, that the case against Brad and Chris is headed towards possible dismissal, and the case that Ripple has against the SEC is actually being strengthened. Because when two commissioners talk about a lack of clarity and that it's really tough for market participants to even know what those regulations are, how are they going to comply with them? Which strengthens Ripple's case because they have their defense is the fair notice defense, meaning they were never given adequate time for the SEC to let them know that they may have been doing something wrong. So when two of the current sitting SEC chairs are basically saying there's no clarity, there's no regulation that's so well defined that people should know what they're doing, how could Ripple have actually gone against those laws if even now in 2021 there's no laws or clarity? And so right now XRP is about 53 cents per token. A lot of people are hodling. A lot of people are trying to add as fast as they can. Some people see this as a make or break situation, like I said earlier in the video. And in yesterday's video, what are you going to do? Let me know in the comments section. Are you adding to your positions? Are there some coins that you are staying away from? Are there some that you are adding more to? It's a really interesting time right now, so be sure to stick around and follow these storylines. So if you want to follow along with the case of Ripple versus the SEC, you're going to want to make sure that you're subscribed to this channel. And if you want to follow some of the breaking news in the crypto space and the investment market space, make sure you're subscribed as well. Also, if you are new to the channel, go ahead and click on the community tab on my channel. I put out polls pretty regularly just to know your thoughts on the crypto space and the investment market space. It's just a way for me to get to know my subscribers even better. So once again, I appreciate you watching all the way to the end. I appreciate you giving it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you guys on the next video.